Engrossed second substitute House Bill 1795 on third reading and final passage. Remarks, the gentleman from the 36th District, Representative Carlyle.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, appreciating your patience, your understanding, but also your conviction about the role of higher education in our state. I think all of us know on a very deep level that access to high quality, affordable education is something visceral to the people of our state, that we're creating educated and engaged citizens and not just workers, and that we're struggling. We're struggling in today's environment to deal with the cold, hard economic reality of this great recession. At the same time, we also have come to a point where a one-size-fits-all regulated model from Olympia is simply unsustainable. Our 6 four-year institutions and our 34 community colleges are different, and they're different in very impressive ways. And the challenge for us today is to recognize that difference. I believe that the core elements of this legislation allow those institutions to have, not only because of the tuition issue, but because of the larger relationship with this body itself. They allow us to move to a place where we can have differential regulation, localized regulation in a way that works. At the same time, I struggle. I struggle with the fact that despite the hard work of this bill and the work of the stakeholders, the students, the faculty, administrators, the business community, the governor's task force, so many members of this chamber, that there's no joy and there's no victory in rising tuition. The question is, can we embark on this policy with some thoughtfulness and some respect and recognition that we have to reinvest dollars in access, affordability, and quality. And we have to do it in a very thoughtful way. We are elevating our investment in financial aid substantially. Our state budget, combined with the additional dollars in this legislation, increases the state need grant contribution by more than $100 million, net increase. There's no other program in state government increasing at that level. Our commitment to financial aid for low-income students and the middle class is genuine and it's real. At the same time, as the good gentlelady from the 33rd said, there are students with a 3.8 or a 3.9 in some areas who can't get in. So access is a real issue. And quality. Some of our institutions are among the finest in the world. The regional uniqueness of Western. The University of Washington as a premier institution of research worldwide. The agricultural perspective that WSU brings as our land-grant institution with a presence in all 39 counties. Mr. Speaker, there is no glory in asking the people of this state to contribute more toward higher education. At the same time, we retain a substantial subsidy and a substantial commitment, not only to financial aid, but to provide access, affordability, and quality. Mr. Speaker, each of us in this room has a very personal story of what brings us to this day and to this moment. I was born as the only child of a hippie single mom, and she struggled for many years with severe mental illness. One day, at a particularly dark time in my life, I found an advertisement in the Bellingham Library where I spent every afternoon. And that ad said, "Find who you are and believe in what's possible." And it was an ad from Harvard University. And I cut that out and I tacked it to my wall, and I looked at that every single day until I was 15 when I left home for good. I don't pretend to have all the answers, of course, but I believe in my heart that if we don't prioritize access, affordability, and quality in a real and a genuine way, that fewer and fewer students will have access, that affordability will become a distant memory if we don't do it with respect and appreciation for low and middle income students. And that quality does matter. Quality does matter. Less than 3% of foster youth in this state will ever achieve the dream of a college education. 15 times that number will be in prison in our state within 18 months of leaving the state's care. I believe that foster youth, I believe that the poorest of the poor, I believe that the middle class deserve access to the opportunity, the passion, and the spirit that drives them to achieve their dreams. This is comprehensive legislation. I appreciate the leadership of the good gentleman, the captain of the higher education team, and I appreciate the good gentleman from the 8th who is the ranking member on the committee. And I appreciate so much of the conviction of so many of you who put so much time and energy and effort into this legislation. And of course, the students, the stakeholders, the faculty, and so many others. So thank you for your sincere consideration, and I appreciate the honor of working on this legislation with you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.